are live, I guess. Again.
I'll give it a refresh. Yeah, I think we're back.
All right. Hopefully the chat is back as well. Yeah, we will see. Sorry, guys. There has been some lagging or drop frames or whatever. Okay, let's just continue. So the call is fine here, and the flop is more than fine.
Yeah, the dream.
Yeah, like in general, the type of hand you want to fast play the most are flop straights, because obviously you don't block any of the other type of connections like sets, two pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately there was no betting going on. The stacks are the stack to pot ratio is 4, which gives you options like making big bets and trying to force the stacks in that way, or doing check raises. I think given the circumstances that this is a final table, and therefore your opponent will play more cautiously, I think rather just going with the bad bet and giving up on the chance that you can get all the stacks in is a better option than going for a check raise. Also, this is not the spot where it's clear that your opponents are have kept ranges. Actually, the preflop opener can have some full houses. Both of the guys can have quite a few 9x hands. So this is not a range which you really want to put pressure on. So I prefer going with the betting. Yeah. I don't like my check. Actually, I like the bet, but like the big bet is fine, because if they have a 9, you get action no matter what. Probably they will call you, and they will probably call you on the river as well. And it is quite unlikely that they have a queen. If you were up against some stronger opponents who actually check a lot of queen x here, basically the preflop opener should check his entire range here, because this flop favors the imposition caller so much that it is very easy that player 4 just checks all the queen x, all the two pairs, sets, straights, whatever. So if you are up against a stronger player, you should be much more careful with this bet. And also, if you are up against a stronger player, he would assume that you are betting into a 9, which is easy to help any of the other two players' ranges, and therefore your range is way weighted towards a super strong hand than to any kind of bluff. So if there is anything to take from this hand, is that if you are in the position of player 4 or player 6, be extremely careful if a competent thinking player bets this big into a turn, which is easy to help the other players. But if you are up against like normal non-thinking players who just take a look at their hand, they see that there is a 9 and there are the other two 9s on the board, and then they are happy to pay you off, then obviously this kind of big bet is perfect. But if you move up in stakes to mid stakes, high stakes, you will see a lot more players who say that, okay, what is the likelihood that Hattie is bluffing here, like close to 0? So they may, like, I can imagine. I have some players in my head who would actually fold some 9x here right on the turn. So you have to be a little bit more balanced as you move up in stakes. But in a weak final table, betting this big is probably fine.
Should I have any bluffs in this spot? Should I bluff some Jack X or anything, or?
The problem with this big bet, or betting big to this turn in general, is that it is very risky. As I mentioned, the preflop opener can have all the hands, checking his whole range. I would very rarely bluff here. Only my very best semi bluffs probably, and maybe some 8-7. Yeah,
Really bottom of the range stuff.
yeah, something like that. But you have to be really careful because even the imposition player can easily check behind some queen x if he's a competent player, like just to avoid, like if you have king queen here and you get got check raised by the big blind, if you are in a very terrible spot.
Puke time.
Yeah, so this is one of the areas where I expect the general play to change a lot in the following years, post flop ICM on this type of draw heavy textures, like this texture, where even if you have like aces, you cannot comfortably put it in under huge ICM pressure. Like if you have aces here and you somehow get your chips in, even with relatively shallow stacks, you're like many times you run into two pair or better combination, and even if you don't run into two pair, you run into combo draws. Yeah, so you are in best case you are flipping, and these kind of situations with huge ICM pressure, like it is on them in this situation, because there are many 14 big blind, 18 big blind, 40 big blind, 40 big blind stacks. If they happen to get it in on the flip here, that's ICM wise, it's a disaster for them. They burn hundreds of dollars with an all-in with aces here. So they have every reason to slow play, to delay the action to the later streets where equities are a little bit distanced. So it's more clear if they are ahead or not. Yeah, so if you are up against capable players, you have to be careful with betting here. Yeah, I think like normally this would be a very fine and natural call, but given the circumstances, yeah, I like it. Yeah, I would push probably. The raise is like that's also super profitable, but probably it is a little bit easier for him to play against the raise than against the jam. Against the jam, they have. I can imagine, like, I'm not sure how this looks like, but I can imagine him folding hands like ace jack.
He's got to be very, very tight, hasn't he, with the 8, 10, and 11 stack.
Yeah, like he has a lot to lose. Here is one smaller stack, another one with equal stack, and another two stacks. So I can imagine him having to fold ace jack almost for sure, maybe ace queen off. That's my take, but maybe I'm just too tight.
Do you think this will be any tool shove from me, or could be an any tool shove?
Excuse me, deal shove?
Do you think this would be profitable to shove with any tool? So goes off.
Yeah, actually, like, do you have the hand history of this, or we have somewhere in the?
Yeah, I'll have it on my poker tracker, I think.
Like, I think, yeah, this is it. So I will be able to put this live into a Hold'em resources calculator. I will start it. 1 second. Let's see where I have this. Welcome, Anna, by the way, Adrian. Welcome to the show. 1 second, I'm going to back this. I actually want to show this to Anna mostly because he will probably be like, no, like won't agree with me that the big blind should ever fold ace jack here or ace queen here, but I want to surprise him a little bit. 1 second. Where is this? Yep. Okay, so we have the big stack. 33. Is this a big 33? No, this is not. This is
No, this is Clásico 22.
okay, then unfortunately don't have it yet. Big 55 you sent me. Where did you send me the Clásico? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so what do we have here? King
7 of diamonds.
King seven of diamonds. Let me show you, like, for those who don't necessarily know how HRC works. HRC is a fantastic program. If you are a serious player, you definitely have to subscribe to it. It's like $6 per month. They have a plan, something like that. Very, very useful tool. Quite easy to use it, actually. So
Which do you prefer? Do you prefer HRC or ICMazer?
I guess they are very similar. I'm just familiar with HRC more, but
I use.
yeah. All right. Let's see. No, this is not that one. And this is probably it. Yeah. All right. So we found the hand history. We are copying this to our clipboard. And we are running a basic hand with Malmut Harville ICM. That's probably fine. We are going to run this with the prize pool of Battle of Malta, because I have this from the earlier episode from David, but it will just basically show you, like, no, I forgot to paste the actual hand history here. So I have to click here to paste the hand history, ICM, prize pool, bounty mode, PKO off, and finish. And what it does, it gives you an equilibrium strategy. So if your opponents are all ICM aware, then it will show you, like, what you can shove, but it also shows you you can see that you can actually push any two, and I was too tight with my estimations. He can call ace 10 off, and ace jack off is very profitable here if you shove with any two. This is quite surprising. Like, many times HRC surprises me, even though I've ran like thousands of simulations. But your opponent can call 10% and you can shove any two in this spot. If your opponent, like, whatever, you cannot go wider than any two, so it is probably solved. All right, let's get back to in-game. Can you blow up your HRC screen, Luigi, so we can see it properly? Let me show. Like, I'm not sure I can enlarge it in any way. Maybe this way. No, it doesn't get better. Doesn't get bigger. But the main takeaway is that as the big stack, you can shove any two, and your opponent can call with this range. Sixes plus, ace 8 suited plus, king 10 suited plus. I very, very doubt that your opponent would ever call you with king 10 suited or king jack suited or even king queen suited. They will probably not call with. I think it will happen something like this, and in that case, probably even 7 use of suit will be very, very profitable. Like, it is already very profitable, probably. Let's see. Okay. Like, if it's Battle of Malta, then 7 use of suit makes you almost $2,000. So, but that was a huge final table. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so jamming is profitable, raising is profitable. If you are up against someone who is who you can be sure of that he will never ever make a semi-light move on you, like some kind of 30 VPIP, a 10 pre-flop raise, 2% total 3-bet, or some guy like this, then probably you can take the low risk version and making just a small raise, like a 3.3x or 3x raise. That's fine. If you're up against a competent player, then you probably prefer jamming, because he cannot do much against that.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, by default I would have folded this, but given that you can put a lot of pressure on all the guys, I'm completely fine with this open. At the point where I played this, I was not sure whether this was the final table or final two tables only. Final two tables, I probably would not open this. On the final table, I probably would. It also depends a lot on your image, like whether they started to adjust to your loose opens and they rejam a lot on you, then you probably want to tighten up and switch gears a little bit. But up to the point where they start playing back at you, you probably want to go semi-crazy. You don't necessarily want to raise all the hands, because then it will be much easier for them to pick up on that and adjust by rejamming a lot. You want to apply like medium pressure on them, like still much more than you would otherwise, but not like looking completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think c-betting is fine. With this stack, he will not do anything crazy against you, and also you are quite loose here, so you can actually have some 8x combos here. Yeah. The turn, like, I would be a little bit careful to bet here. I think I just check, and I can even consider calling a bet on the river. He will have some 10-9, Jack 9, Jack 10, which he's kind of forced to play this way. So I think checking is slightly better. You got called, and on this river, it's interesting. You don't have too many like natural bluffs here. Many of your bluffs are 10x hands, which got there and check. So I think if we somehow got here, we may want to apply max pressure on the guys. But also, if you fire and it turns out bad, then you are slid to second place or third place.
Yeah.
I think checking is slightly better, but it depends on, like, once again, like as I mentioned, the timing tell is very important here. A quick call on the turn will very rarely be strong, and a small call on the turn is probably more weighted towards traps and or like other Hollywoodish fake tanking. Yeah, like you checked, and yeah, this was pretty unfortunate turn. It's quite surprising that under this pressure he called with this kind of folding. He probably should not, but anyways, it was good to see that you slowed down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I was going to get much to fold there, other than a 7, and I mean,
yeah,
that's only a small part in it.
And probably as it was a min-raise pre-flop, he calls with a lot of offsuit ace, 8x hands as well. So yeah. I guess this is like you want to put this in, but it's not like a fist pump get it in. It's like once again we may want to try this in HRC just to see, like, just get a feel. Like I think this is a clear all-in, but we want to see like how marginal this is. Okay, so what we look for is king of diamond, ace of clubs. And yeah, let's switch to full screen. And yeah, let's look for the next one. Yeah, here it is. So we are copying this and putting this into HRC, and this time we don't run basic simulation but advanced hand. So we paste this, we still have ICM and bounty mode off, and next hand, and we give an option for the players to min raise, but the second action shall be all in, and we say that the under the gun player raises, so it saves some calculating capacity for HRC to give this, and player 2 folds and player 3 raises all in. And then we say that we can actually, whatever, this is fine this way. The opening range will be like not realistic, but it saves a lot of like now we have to make adjustments, like what will the under the gun player raise with. I guess it will be a very tight range, much tighter than this, something like probably something like this maybe. Do you agree? Like king queen off?
Yeah, I'd take a7, 8, 9 out offsuit.
A7, ace9.
Yeah, I'd take them out. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, king queen. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with this. It doesn't matter too much.
Yeah.
And what's the rejamming guy? What do you think his range will be here?
8 plus 8, 10, 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, maybe flatting aces and kings.
Let's just unlock this and oh, okay, 1 second. Unlock. I guess yeah, we logged it, so we cannot unlock. 1 second. I used this long time ago. So we'll take it and under the gun raises, and let's leave all the other options, so then we can see like what he should jam with and what he should not. I think jamming 8s here is really questionable, probably bad. Normally those kind of hands with no blocker value, when they have a lot of players behind, a lot of open ranges behind, those perform really bad, especially if they are facing a tight open range with like low fold equity. Then that will be quite disastrous. Let's copy this, Control C and Control V, and then let's rerun this. And what we see is that MP1 guy, he can rejam jacks, and somehow he can rejam some of these low pocket pairs, which probably the reason is that they don't block some of the open ranges of the because they don't block with 7s and 6s. You don't block the open range, while with 9s and 8s you block ace9 and ace8, and with 10s you block ace10, king 10, queen 10. So that's why probably rejamming 10s is not profitable, while rejamming these are profitable. And as you see, it goes very much towards the ace-x combinations, the blocker type combinations. So rejamming ace-10, ace-deuce suited is decent plus EV, while rejamming 10s is breaking even. So that's quite a big lesson. And yeah, as you can see, we are on the big blind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the big blind, if we face this rejamming range, which is absolutely not realistic, then we can call with ace king. Ace king off in this case makes decent profit, and queens, but we have to fold jacks, for example. But if we make some adjustment, like I guess you agree that this is absolutely not realistic,
Yes.
given the circumstances. I would say that most of the players are
Ace
indeed.
King's probably going to drop out if he loses the low suited aces, I think.
Yeah. These should be erased completely. That probably this one as well. Ace queen. I would assume most, like, they get rejammed sometimes, but not all the time. So I would give them 50% weight, and I would take king queen off, king queen suited out completely,
Yeah.
and
Would you put tens in? I would leave tens out still.
yeah, I would definitely put tens and jacks in. Eights, I would once again give 50% chance for that to happen. Nines, probably 50%. So that's, I think this is the
Yeah, I
most
think that's more realistic.
yeah. And let's see how the big blind should react to this kind of rejamming. I can imagine ace king to be like very questionable. Yeah. So in this case, ace king, calling with ace king is almost 1% of the total price pool of the final table. So ace king is against this kind of range.
Yeah,
It's very questionable.
I thought it was going to be close.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I clicked fold, and especially the bigger your edges, the more timid the other players are, the more like chipping up opportunities you have with your big stack, the more you want to avoid this kind of clashes, because it happened to you many times, it happened to me many times, it happened to everyone many times, that you got this kind of hand which you kind of had to put it in, and you lost a flip and you finished sevens, and the game is over, and you
Yeah,
just blame bad luck. But in reality, this is much more of a close rejam, or course close calling than you first think. So yep, it is definitely questionable. I would probably fold in a weak final table,
yeah.
but it was quite a lucky showdown. And yeah, there is a guy all in with 5 big blinds, already 2.5 in the pot. Yeah, you probably want to re-raise small. I would not jam. Calling, yeah, calling is also fine. We don't really want to put it in against the 23 big blind guy, and we are okay against this guy no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, the small blind will not make too many aggressive actions against the other big stacks, so yeah, calling is fine. Yeah, unfortunately, but small pot. Sam's suggesting that the jammers range Nash in this situation should be jacks, ace queen suited, ace king. Well, we saw what the solver suggested. The solver suggested for the jammer to rejam, yeah, ace x type hands, and not to rejam middling pocket pairs. Not like jacks are questionable. So yeah, once again, if we unlock the range, let me switch back to full screen. If we unlock the range and we run the cogs, the simulation, then we see once again what the solver suggested against the tight range. this MP1 guy, if he doesn't have the option to flat, he should rejam hands like this. And actually, rejamming jacks is questionable, losing a tiny bit of money. It's strange that this time the result is different than the earlier times, probably some calculation differences. It is really, really strange. Let me rerun this again. Yeah, probably like some calculation differences, some rounding differences, but somehow now 6s and 5s are not profitable. I think, yeah. Or maybe we got that result before we logged the range for the under the gun player, and now if we logged, then the rejammer should be much tighter. But yeah, like NA is saying that that's too tight. Let me go back to Ace King. Like they basically had the same stack, 23 versus 20, and and a bunch of smaller stacks behind, and another guy with bigger stack, and another guy with bigger stack who can eliminate him. So that's why he has to be.
He's got to be super tight, with the shorties.
Yeah, in his case, in his weak to final table, I would probably take the approach to rather go with mostly calling range in this situation, especially if I think the opener is tight. Then I would make a lot of like semi traps with jacks, queens, even ace king suited. I would trap a lot, and rather try to benefit from the postal play than making very questionable, marginally profitable rejams pre-flop. Because if you only do rejamming here, you can only play very few hands. Like as you can see, even jacks are losing hands in this case. So if you only do rejamming, then you are limited to aces, king, queens, ace king, ace queen suited, king queen suited. But even king queen suited is almost just break even. But if you imply some or implement some calling as well, or rather calling, then you can play a somewhat wider range, and probably in position you will make much better decisions. Let's see. So if under the gun raises this and the MP1 rejams this, then the under the gun can call queens and ace king, which is quite reasonable. And as he only raises 13%, this is not like a huge gap. Obviously, it's a big gap, but not like you are making a lot of profit with those kind of free jumps. Okay, let's just get back. Actually, I think we are about time to cut the stream. Let's see which hand we completed. Queen 9 off. Let this be the last hand which we discuss. So there is a raise, we defend. Actually, these kind of hands perform quite okay as rejams normally without any ICM pressure. If you have an opponent who opens too much, given his position, and you have stacks somewhere around this like 22, 25, then these like middling offsuit semi-connected hands, these perform extremely well as rejams. I'm just not sure whether in final table circumstances that's still true. Probably not, because in final tables you need even more fold equity. But we can take a last look. Like you have queen 9, so queen of diamond and 9 of spades. So control find queen of diamond, 9 of spade. I think this will not be a rejam, but in normal circumstances this could be, because these don't perform super good as flats. They are offsuit, they are often dominated, but if you rejam, you can fold out a ton of dominated holdings. So I can imagine this being still profitable. Yeah, player 4. And let's finish. Oh, yeah, I forgot to switch to full screen. So what do you think he opens here, like just in general? Like it depends a lot on that.
I think it's quite tight. I think it'd be suited kings from 10x, so king 10, king jack, king queen. Most of the suited aces, ace 10 off plus, maybe a couple of the offsuit broadways, king queen, king jack. Pairs from 7s up.
Yeah, like against that guy, it will almost definitely not be a rejam. But let's take someone who is like not really conscious about his position, what he should do, not really conscious about the stacks behind him, and just playing overly loose. Like let's just see if this can be a profitable rejam against someone like that, like opening 5s, opening king 9 suited, 10-9 suited, and offsuit broadways, which is a little bit optimistic, but there are guys like this. Yeah, let's say 20%. That's you can definitely find some guys who play like this. And if you rejam, then what do you think he calls with, given the circumstances? Let's say he's not like super ICM like cautious, ICM conscious, but obviously he feels some pressure. So
I think he'd probably call jacks plus ace queen, ace king, 10s. I mean, it's quite a tricky spot for him, so I don't think he'd be too wild. There's even fun players that may open wide, but I don't think they'll call too wide on a final table.
yeah, I would say probably even a like fun player. I can easily see them folding ace queen as well, but I don't want to be overly optimistic. So let's see. He calls this. What do you think? Will this be a reshove? If we lock this, so he opens 21% and calls 5%.
Yeah.
Do you think this will be a rejam?
Probably with all the short stacks behind him. I think he's going to have to call queens, kings, aces, maybe ace king suited.
Yeah. So if this is real, like obviously this is not the standard because most of the players will open much tighter than that. But if you find someone who opens 21% and only calls 5%, then this queen 9 of suit will be a decent, like not decent profit, but will be an okay profit. Probably still doing better by calling, to be honest. Like 0.2% of the overall prize pool in a battle of multi final table. This is plus 200. You probably do this by simply calling as well. Given these circumstances, probably like you still have huge ICM pressure on yourself. So that's why this is rather a call. Even in against a player we would really like to rejam a lot in normal circumstances. So I like the just call. And yeah, like I'm a little bit tempted to not fold here, either just float, but I would rather float hands like ace 7 of hearts or some kind of ace hand with like just having one direct out to outdraw his king if necessary, and collect some bluffs on an ace turn. So with this hand, I would probably go for a really tiny check raise, just to fold out like complete airs, some ace highs, which is a little bit questionable, but I like it. Yeah, I actually folded when I replayed this, but I like your check raise a lot. Yeah, you did so, and I guess it works enough. Like it's a very, very cheap move. It all like you only risk 2.5%, 5 million for 4.5 million. That's
My thinking was that I block king queen and I have a spade, so it's got less continues. So I went for the cheap bluff.
yeah. Really, really nice. I like it a lot. Yeah. So you made a lot of really, really great moves. Overall, you played very aggressively, sometimes a little bit overly to my taste, but like nothing like really spazzy. I didn't really get the ace deuce of suit hand, but it's definitely
Forget that
not
one.
your
Forget that one, Luigi. That didn't happen.
yeah. So I'm very, very happy with your play. I think you are definitely on a very good path. Yeah, keep playing steady. Yeah. I hope you will have a very wonderful 2021. And
Me too.
yeah, thank you for being here. And probably next week we continue with the rest of the final table, running
Yep,
some
yep.
HRC simulations. And yeah, maybe it will be a little bit shorter show, but we will definitely continue and try to give some value, some more value. If you like
Nice.
this type of reviews, then definitely go to check this site, checkthesite.com. On the CD original account, you can access a lot of tournament reviews made by me on my own tournaments and on the tournament of some friends of mine. For example, Burst 320. He had a 171k score in a $1,000 tournament a few years ago, and he asked me to review it, so we can see like how the game changed since that, and you can see where I made comments. If you click on a hand where I made comment and you scroll down, you can see that on pre-flop I made a note, so you can all read all those comments for a $9 per month subscription, which is extremely good value. I really believe so. And yeah, let's all have a wonderful year and continue next week.
Nice one. Cheers, Luigi.
All right, thank you. Who
See you next week.
do you think we should raid?
Let's see.
Like we have five viewers, but let's add them to someone.
Give it to one of the small guys. The celebrities don't need them.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's rate Slayer 1 Fan Poker. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Like maybe okay to jam those. It's mostly the offsuit combos for like 10 to 15 they get jammed
raid Slan
within a GTO base strat.
Slay. No. Okay.
Slayer.
Slayer V1.
Even in
Fan
lockdown before I kept asking
poker.
what they're up to, and everyone's just like, "Fuck, I'm on nothing to
Okay.
play." Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much gonna be my story too.
Yeah. I unfortunately
As
chatted there.
players,
Whatever.
right?
We are not going to raid anyone. I